You know the phrase, never say never. Well, I recently proved this to myself. Oftentimes, colleagues, friends, and family would say, "Why don't you just become a principal?" My response was never. I already worked too hard. But as time went on and these same colleagues shared words of encouragement and had faith in me, then I began to look into the mirror and my future as to what am I called to do. My educational career began at a very young age, probably before school age, in fact. I was always in the backyard teaching my dolls and stuffed animals. I loved school and couldn't wait to go with my older brothers, but I quickly found out that I was not a traditional student. I was the student that sits in many classrooms today that doesn't always learn like those within the margins do. I struggled with phonics. Goodness, I hated that plague green phonics book. Math, begging my counselor in high school to let me take an advanced placement psychology class, even though I was in the honors classes. It was the best C I had ever received. After 3 years in undergrad at UK, I was still searching for what I wanted to be when I grew up. When I left high school, I told my assistant principal I would be back, but I ran out of general ed classes at UK, so I decided to go for education because those who can't teach, right? Well, my grades weren't good enough, so I didn't get in. I appealed this decision because I knew I would be a good teacher. I proved that this wasn't just a fly-by-night decision, but I still didn't know what I was called to do. Maybe I was just out of classes to take. After graduating from UK, came home to Louisville. I knew nothing about Louisville public schools. I went to Catholic schools my whole life. I went to college in Lexington. I was at a loss in how to get a job after graduation. Fortunately, my assistant principal remembered me and offered me my first teaching job in a parochial school. 14 eager half-day kindergartners, you know those babies that the parents weren't quite ready to let go. I fell in love with teaching and I fell in love with learning. I never wanted to leave this school, and I never wanted to teach any other grade than kindergarten. The next year, I took a job in the public school system. I started at Coral Ridge Elementary in 1997. I was hired after school started for a special education position that I didn't have a degree in yet. I finished up that year again saying, I never am going to leave this school. I will retire from here. I earned my special education degree from Bellarmine University and continued to teach special ed the next 7 years at Coral Ridge. I finished up my rank 1 in literacy from the University of Louisville. I said I would never attend U of L. I was offered a literacy coach position after my passion for reading and writing was evident in my teaching. This is when I realized that all the struggles I faced as a learner makes me the educator I am today. So my roles in education has gone from the classroom level to just the primary level to all literacy instruction and now to helping curriculum and instruction with all classrooms and content. But really, the fun part of my job is working with all students, staff, and families in the building. When I see the smiles on the faces of the students I meet and the teachers that show up in tears but leave with a more relaxed appearance, that's when I realize my calling is to be an educational leader. It started back in my yard with the stuffed animals and dolls. Not only was I their teacher, but I was also the leader of the backyard pool charter school. Although I have never been one to have balance in my life, except maybe equal amounts of work and fun, I have no greater joy than my life that I've created outside of the school building. My husband David and I have been blessed with 2 daughters, Reese, age 13, and Riley, age 10. Our home is always filled with a 4-legged family member too. We love UK, the Kentucky Derby, trips with our friends, and most importantly, our girls and dog. Reese and Riley are very active girls in school and sports. We love being on the sidelines cheering them on. I also play and coach soccer. Being called to get my principalship has put a new kick in my step this year. I still teach from the heart, but I have also realized that my passion for learning and literacy can be stretched to a greater audience as the educational leader of a school. I also have learned to never say never.